Do you think that they do happy endings for this too, or is that extra? I am here at the world's largest auction, also known as Barrett Jackson, with a $4 million budget to try and find a car to bring back home. Now here's the problem. I have very high standards, and so hopefully we can find something that's just not an absolute piece of trash. It's only a coupe. This wouldn't make a good family vehicle, so I think I'm gonna pass on this and look at some other cars to buy. This is just a little too cheap for my taste. If I was British and in my 70s going through a midlife crisis, this would be a perfect car. This is a car you kind of want to get conceived in. Unfortunately, there's no back seat, so it's going to be kind of hard to get it on. Luckily, you have the entire back of this car to maybe lay down a nice towel and get to action. It wouldn't be a complete car show if they didn't have a riced out Mustang. Of course, you've got to have the eBay splitter, and don't forget that beautiful, beautiful arrow mounted to the bumper cover. The classic eBay fake carbon fiber wrap that we've been seeing everywhere today. More fake carbon fiber on the back, and don't forget the Fast and Furious spoiler. And to finish it off, the paint match discount tire special wheels. Looks like they're letting anybody in this year. I mean, a base model Honda Accord. Sure, it only has 10,000 miles, but that's because it's an automatic. I mean, who would want to drive that? I found the perfect car for all of our short kings out there. So if you think a Miata is too big for you, there's several choices here at Barrett Jackson. They even have a baby Miata for these baby Miata owners. And then right next to it, a life-size Miata. That's perfect for a size comparison. You can't have a Hellcat build without the safety bumpers on the bottom. And then of course the fake carbon fiber wrap. Beautiful. Well done, Dodge. This could be all yours for 70 grand, which to me is honestly 80 grand too much. So we have this Gallardo here for 71 grand. We have this Bentley here for 50 grand. And then we have this Ferrari here for 65 grand. Now I'm looking to pick something up around the $3 to $4 million range. So these are a little too poor for my taste. So we're gonna have to keep looking. I think the reason that this Hellcat actually sold for so much right here is because of how rare it is to see one of these without the yellow safety guards. Imagine buying a Rolls Royce but not even able to afford the emblem on the front. See, that probably explains why it's only 65 grand. Just your run-of-the-mill poverty spec Rolls Royce. Behind me is something a little bit more functional. What looks like a normal, regular Hummer that would be all right for dailying. Obviously got to have the safety with the crash bar on the front, but they have these nice treads right here for display because you can retrofit it and set them up on this. I would consider picking something up like this, but unfortunately, because it doesn't actually have it on the car, I can't prove that it's not Photoshopped. So for that reason, I'm out. The quest to find a car continues on. Something like this would be great. Unfortunately, it is not the 1920s, and I am not racist enough to own one. Here we have another poverty spec GTR, and you can tell it's fake because it's left-hand drive. And what's more embarrassing is it's automatic. I mean, imagine spending this kind of money on an auto. Fake carbon fiber just all over the car, even with these cheesy eBay cutouts on the fenders. Probably came with the fake eBay lip and the carbon fiber wrap. I bet it's not even a Nismo. This is the equivalent of anime wrapping a car, but for American muscle. It's cool to see that they have the actual car that Leonardo DiCaprio got that DUI in. This just looks like one of those weird Mazdas that has a smiling front end. No wonder it only has 8K miles and one owner. Now, growing up, I actually spent a lot of time in these, but unfortunately, the ones I hung out in had no windows. The entire van was black. I did get free candy out of it, so honestly, kind of worth the trauma. Yo, Kenmaka. See, it's bad enough when Corvette owners do it, but to see that it's spread out to the Dodge Viper community is really embarrassing. Behind me is my one-of-one blue Dodge Viper, built in 1992, that my wife divorced me in. $300,000, I know what I have. See, I got really excited to see a Ford GT, but unfortunately, it is a fake JDM version. The non-Freedom edition, as you can see, being that the steering wheel is on the non-Freedom side. You can tell it's a highly optioned Hellcat, because they even opted for the yellow safety bumper that you never see. I think the reason why I see so many Hellcats and Challengers here is because people are just realizing how awful they are. Lucid Lucky, make sure you get ready to sell yours before they start decreasing in price. Nothing like seeing a really clean Ford Bronco only to be ruined by eBay over fenders, which explains why it only sold for $130K. I don't understand why they're advertising this woman's name on this car when it's just some random Mustang that has RGB lights in the engine bay, and just some cheesy eBay wide body kit on it too. Might as well just be some 350Z that you see at every Cars and Coffee. Looks like someone unfortunately stole the middle section of his yellow bumper guard. He's gonna be very upset when he notices that. Now this is a nice truck for people who don't actually use their trucks for truck things. I've been seeing a lot of these Miatas here. Hell yeah, brother. Yee. It's really sad to see these like cheap Cadillacs everywhere around here. I mean, I bet it sold for, yeah, $176,000. That's why. Embarrassing. I don't think it's long enough, and that's probably why it sold for so little. It could use a little bit more chrome too. It's not a complete Corvette if it doesn't have the boomer sign up front. My pee-pee when I see a supercar, my pee-pee when I see a shitbox. I know I like to make fun of these Miatas that you see here, But this one's really embarrassing because it doesn't even have its complete intake manifold, and it's missing half of the cage. And it's got one of those fake manual shifters with graffiti on the side too. Another Corvette for sale, but don't forget, cannot have it without the Boomer sign. This is a great I just murdered my husband so that I could get all of his money car. And of course, the Corvette Boomer sign. This Corvette's nice, but I wonder if the lifts here are the same ones that Ron DeSantis uses. Another fake Ford GT here with a cheesy anime speed racer wrap, and you can tell because the steering wheel's on the wrong side yet again. I mean, just look at all of those cheesy eBay rivets holding the hood on. What's really great about a build like this is not only do you have like the classic rat rod style with everything exposed and beautiful, but it's got a functional truck bed in the back too, as well as cargo space for all of your tools, since this is a nice classic working truck. Something like this would be really nice, but unfortunately I don't smoke enough weed to truly enjoy the car. Make sure to practice safe auto sales. I finally found a car that I actually would consider buying, but unfortunately I don't think it's for sale, which is really disappointing because this would just be the perfect family car to have. I feel like the only place keeping Quiznos alive is car conventions. If this didn't already sell, this would be the perfect daily driver. Something that you could spend not a lot of money on and just have something you can beat the hell out of. I mean, for only $70K, how could you say no? With a nice little intercooler up front and then 2 double vents for the turbos, I mean, it's all about fuel efficiency with this build. I finally found a Charger without the yellow bumper guards. They are pink instead. What? And not even 5 feet away, I found another pink set of bumper guards. Now that makes perfect sense why they're both for sale, because I'd be embarrassed to own that too. If you're looking to get your wife or significant other into cars and they're not into cars, this is the perfect option. One, you have all of the pink even over the entire motor. How could they not be into cars after this? I'm honestly really surprised that I didn't see that in the Barbie movie. What's really great about Barrett Jackson is like the diversity of what you see for sale here. So obviously you have all the cars for sale in the back, but then you're just casual weekend boat for sale that anyone could pick up and just take to the lake. And then if you need a good way to actually get to the beach where your boat is, you can have your own custom private helicopter that for some reason says no sex on the back. See, after a long day at the convention, you just gotta make sure to take some time for yourself and really treat yourself on one of these nice, beautiful machines. Just get some B-roll. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you so much. No more gas smell? Where's the fun in that? This is exactly how you show up to the country club in style. I didn't realize that I should have brought my bathing suit to Barrett Jackson, but next year I'll be better prepared. This is how they keep the pores away from the nice cars, bubble boy style. Thought Barrett Jackson was supposed to be family friendly. I'm gonna have to censor this great. Not in my good Christian household. Yeah, I am actually in the market for a boat. The only unfortunate thing with one of these is they're just too small for what I'm looking for, which explains why they're going for so cheap. But one of the great parts about getting a boat like this is you can't get a DUI, so I might still consider it. Nothing like seeing a nice anime wrapped Bugatti here at Barrett Jackson. It's just missing some Demon Slayer stickers on the side and it would be perfect. Found the perfect booth for most Mustang owners because of how often their cars break down. Here's what you would expect from like a nice windowless van, but unfortunately when you come into the interior, this is just so much nicer than the vans I spent my childhood in. This is almost as big as every Challenger I see at Cars and Coffee. I have finally made it to everyone's favorite spot here at Barrett Jackson, the king of all Boomer alleys. Look at this. I mean, of course, you've got to have the 8-foot tall poster of your one-of-one Corvette. And although much smaller, this does have more pictures and what looks like the full complete trading card edition of this car. The easiest way to clean up any engine bay is to just cover everything in metal. I am just 1 penny away from really ruining this Corvette owner's day. I thought this Mercedes would be really nice, but then I just see it has done this really ricer door mod to the top. And not only that, but it's got the Boomer sign as well. You can tell that the quality of Barrett Jackson has really degraded when they're letting cars like this in. And I mean, just next to it is this base model C-Class that you see literally everywhere. I think I found a car that I'm actually gonna put a bid in for. When you first look at this, it looks like your classic time attack Hummer that you really do see everywhere, so nothing's too special about that. All of the functional aero in the front, the V-mount cooling setup, just classic done. Nothing really crazy about this build, just pretty ordinary. And of course, they've got safety first when it comes to this build. Just very classic, comfortable interior, as you can see. But then where it really shines is when you come around to the back. Not only does it have a Hellcat engine swapped into it, but it has 2 extra wheels here and a nice thick eBay racing wing. More great time attack aero because Hummers are actually really good for time attack builds, especially with that classic cantilever suspension you can see there. It's taken almost all day, but I do think I am gonna be putting in a bid for this, and it should be well within my budget. Now, I would consider picking one of these up, but unfortunately my driver just recently quit, so I would have to look at hiring a new driver first. Not only does this Corvette have everything you would expect, the Boomer sign, the pamphlet, 2 magazines, but it also has an entire wall dedicated to it, so that's pretty impressive. Floor it! I don't understand why everyone freaks out over these like base model stock Lexuses. I mean, there's one right here and one right next to it, they can't be that rare. I mean, it just looks like every other IS350 you'd see on the freeway. And the body panels don't even line up. What a terrible build quality. No wonder Toyota stopped making these. One redeeming quality about this red one here, though, is unlike the yellow one, it doesn't have all of this fake eBay carbon fiber canards and lip. I really don't understand what's so special about this Porsche. The Carrera GTs are pretty basic, but this is even worse. I guess because it's convertible, people are freaking out about it, but it really doesn't do anything for me. Nothing like seeing a nice shitbox break down after it was sold. I'm gonna give you guys a pro tip whenever you're at an event like this and there's just crowds everywhere and everywhere. If you're ever stuck behind someone, all you do is just lightly tickle their sides and they will instantly get out of your way. So I'm walking out the end of the day for Barrett Jackson. I put in a few offers, reach out to some private sellers to see if we could end up picking up one of the few cars that I saw that I really wanted to pick up. Overall, I'm really gonna have to talk to the owners of this event because it was pretty disappointing, as you saw from the cars that I showed. And they could really do better and step up the quality for future events, actually have some unique and insane builds. I'll hopefully be able to partner with them in the future, and we'll see where this goes. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more below average car content.